Showing up, challenging Bell on his stance on the conflict in the Middle East.
5 on your side's Brent Solomon is just back from that heated exchange where at times Bell could barely get a word in. Brent?
Yeah, liken it to a classroom of rowdy students where a teacher is trying to take command and get the students to listen. Half of the room coming out to genuinely hear what the congressman had to say. The other side pushing back, yelling, and at times even standing and turning their back.
Get out, ma'am. Got to go. Security in the White House.
So why not? Let's talk about it. So let's talk about it then. Can we talk? Can we talk? Can we talk? You can't.
Congressman Wesley Bell in his second town hall after winning his seat in the U.S. House. He came to talk about a variety of issues. His work getting FEMA assistance for tornado survivors, gun violence, claiming lives in the city. But for most of the conversation, a crowd of demonstrators that assembled both inside and outside interjected, questioning his support from pro-Israel interest group AIPAC and what they refer to as genocide in Gaza.
When it comes to the word genocide, I kind of disagree with it because the bottom line is, can I finish? Can I finish? Israel was...
By the way, these people, like, maybe she's wearing a keffiyeh, she's got the mask on and stuff. Like, a bunch of those people are not, like, fucking there specifically to protest you. You know what I mean? I'm willing to entertain the notion that, like, she might be there specifically to, as a constituent, specifically to address this issue. There are so many people booing in that fucking room that were there to talk about a pothole or some shit, okay? Or that were there to be like, why don't you fight back against the fucking, why don't you fight back against the government? Why don't you fight back against Trump? It's locals. Those are your fucking constituents. You have to keep this shit up, by the way, especially after what Rashida Tlaib told me. 100,000,000%. This is the most effective way. These motherfuckers literally are worried that there are going to be people doing this, but for pro-Israel purposes at their town halls. And that's precisely the reason why they ahead of time will engage in this like pro-Israel sentiment out of fears that like their donors are going to pull out or some shit. I'm telling you, dude.
Attacked by an openly genocidal terrorist group. Like, how do you get around that? We need to surge aid to make sure that people get fed in Gaza.
What is this? Bro is a sponge for AIPAC. What? It's because it's from that. It's literally all from the primary, bro. That's what's so crazy. That is just one primary, bro. That was the money spent to defeat Cori Bush. At first, I was like, what the fuck? How did he fucking clock that much money? God damn. And then I'm reminded it's because that money was spent by AIPAC and pro-Israel affiliate group specifically to unseat Cori Bush, who was actively calling out Israel's genocide at the time, as opposed to my goat, Connor Eats Pants, live streamer and host of the famous internet talk show Fortnite Friday. $0.00 received from AIPAC.
Need to end the war. We need to return every single hostages, and Hamas has to go.
At the end of that town hall, I got an opportunity to catch up.
Yeah, like all these people are not, these people are your constituents, big dog. Yeah, you got to face them.
With the congressman.
Did this go as
12 million to ride Israel silly style? Oh, he's doing tricks on it, blowing bubbles on it. It's crazy. It was 90% locals asking about tornado relief and genocide, bro. I was outside this shit. Yup. He's out there literally doing unlimited gymnastics on it, okay? On the Israeli penis.
you expected?
It actually did. And actually,
you did expect it. He was like, well, I had to show my tongue game. See, now I saw this in a video. I was blowing bubbles. Gargling on it, sexual style. Oh my God.
I thought it would be a little even more contentious, to be perfectly honest, because there's a lot of people that are passionate about their issues, and we're seeing this around the country. So
God, I fucking hate this lip speak, dude. Like, oh, it's just a very passionate issue. And I did, of course, win this primary specifically because I was blowing bubbles on Israeli dick, Israeli penis. That's why I won it. They gave me 12 mil. They dumped 12 mil into my race. I learned if you put your thumb inside of your hand and make a fist, you can gag on it without gag reflex kicking in. That's what I got for $12 million from the Israel lobby. HasanAbi, you want me to show you?
Despite the uproar and chanting from the crowd, we have seen politicians call it quit and wrap up early. Bell stayed for that hour-and-a-half conversation. We spoke about a few other topics, including his former opponent, Cori Bush. You can watch that unedited conversation on KSDK.com right after this newscast.
Read the top comment about what happened. It was so much worse than they're showing. I would say about a good 40% of the audience booed almost the entire time, and it ended 30 minutes early. People and police got into scuffles as well. Not sure if Bell knew what he was getting himself into. Clown Hall. I was there. The event started with the moderator at the end of her lengthy self-congratulatory introduction pointing at a woman and demanding security to remove her before pointing to another and doing the same. She was trying to make an example out of them and was clearly getting off on the proximity to power. We surrounded them and didn't let security take them, and I don't believe anyone was successfully removed during the town hall. It ended with Wesley Bell encouraging everyone to stay so we could talk more and answer questions. Didn't think it would happen, but wanted to hold him accountable, so many of us stayed. About 5 minutes after, he walked off stage and immediately into the back to speak with the media, meaning media cameras all left the space. Cops went from 0 to 100. No warning, no request to leave. In fact, our congressperson told us to stay, but they started shoving people, shaking them, throwing them into the ground and into folding chairs. A city council person was grabbed by their hair and thrown. I was personally shoved into a wall, and when I moved my arm and stopped bracing myself because I was choking someone else, a giant out of uniform cop basically picked me up and threw me onto the chairs on the ground. When they weren't actively being violent, they were threatening more violence. Make no mistake, Wesley Bell made that fucking call. He has nothing but contempt for you. I hate this goddamn party, man. Fuck. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. For example, the boos when Hamas called Hamas genocidal were a lot louder than shown in the local news clip.
Israel was attacked by an openly genocidal terrorist group.
Hey guys, by the way, make no mistake, this is in fucking Missouri. Understand, you walk up to a random person on the streets nowadays, you ask them, what do you think about Israel? They're gonna say, fuck Israel. That's it. And I say this as someone who was probably in the most pro-Israel place in the United States of America. There's like 2 other places that are as pro-Israel, as ultra-Zionist, as like the area that I'm in, okay? West Hollywood. You got like Boca Raton and like maybe one segment of New York. It's so fuck Israel o'clock that, you know, the people that are refusing to recognize that are so delusional, dude. To add insult to injury, these motherfuckers present a hurdle for us to get healthcare. They don't want you to get free healthcare. Meanwhile, Israel has free healthcare, bro. What the fuck? They can spend all that money on free healthcare because we got their defense and offense covered. You can't keep running around and going, but Hamas around this country, man. It's fuck Israel o'clock. Nobody gives a fuck anymore about like, but Hamas are terrorists. YouGov poll shows the majority of Americans not believe that Israel is committing a genocide against the Palestinians, particularly young and Democrats. I suspect views of Israel are going to keep deteriorating after the conflict rather than bouncing back to positive. That's what I've been saying. I've been saying this. Also, this one doesn't make sense. 93% strongly or somewhat oppose sympathies in the Israel-Palestinian conflict. 72% oppose the Israelis. What is happening here? What happened here? Is the average American position that like they hate Jews and they hate Muslims? Is that what it is? But they hate Muslims more? Is that how they analyze the situation? It's just like, Jews and Muslims fighting each other. Come on, get me out of this shit. Okay, well, we're not funding Palestinians. We're funding Israel. Unironically, that's how a lot of normies see it. Unironically, yes, they recognize Israel's in the wrong and hate Israel more, but also hate Muslims, so they don't hate Israel as much. I guess that's what it is. It's all good. Keep pushing. Keep making noise. I just went to my Dem congressman's town hall, and holy moly, the echo chamber, we are so cooked. I went to Dem congressman Medicare town hall, and let me just say, we're so incredibly cooked. My rep, Gil Cisneros of CA31, is so incredibly useless in the info he gave tonight. His staff, of course, didn't give him my questions on the 90% approval rating of congressional Dems, which isn't shocking, but they read him an audience question on how the so-called big beautiful bill was an impact on VA benefits. The congressman just stuttered his way through, looking at the clock in the back of the auditorium in order to hit the 1 hour mark. He also gave the dumbest answer to someone who asked what the Dems are going to do to mitigate the worst impacts of the BBB. Again, just stuttering to run out the clock. He sounded like he was giving a presentation for a book he didn't read. He just said the generic, nothing we can do except elect more Dems, I guess. I also found it gross how he purposely went out of his way to take as few questions as possible by having a super old guy he brought it ramble on in his place. Sorry for the long essay. I just wanted to confirm what Rashida Tlaib said to Hasan. These guys are not fighting at all. And that's that. He purposely did this at a senior center on a work day. Also, this was Wesley Bell less than 2 weeks ago. Instead of being in St. Louis meeting with Isaac Herzog. Oh yeah, Wesley Bell was on the fucking freshman Democrat AIPAC trip. Oh God, what a fucking gross little monstrous piece of shit he is. God, I have so much hate in my heart for these fucking scumbags, dude. Oh my God. Nazis, all of them. So unimaginably stupid. Dude, I don't know where the fuck we go from here, dude. More Americans oppose and support Israel taking military control of all of Gaza. I sent a letter to my Dem congressman and he sent back a copy-paste email about how much he loves Israel and how protesters in America are supported by Hamas and he wants them to be arrested, i.e. me. 28% of Americans strongly or somewhat support Israel taking military control over Gaza, while 42% oppose it. 52% of Republicans support Israel taking over Gaza. Reuters Ipsos poll found that 58% of Americans support recognizing Palestine, only 28% oppose. 59% describe Israel's response in Gaza is excessive, a 6 points increase from the last poll. It's not enough. We got to get those numbers up. It's up to you and me and everyone else around us to get those numbers up. I'm telling you right now, if you think you hate Israel, you don't hate Israel enough. It's fuck Israel o'clock. Some people are having a hard time reading that watch. Okay? We can do better. We can do better. In January 2024, by the time of the ICJ's first order for prime ministers or for PMs, it was extremely controversial to say Israel was committing genocide. At this point, it's controversial to say it isn't. Share of Americans who say Israel is not committing genocide against Palestinian civilians is 28%. Like April 2024, it was already the plurality. The yes had overtaken. What happened here? What the fuck was this? Did they do like a mass blast of remember October 7 shit in October 2024? Is that why when they were like, oh wait, maybe it's not a genocide or something? Election polling? Yeah, maybe. Also peak of Kamala lib momentum? I don't know. In any case, I'm going to keep repeating it again and again. Is fuck Israel o'clock.